Greetings, Elder Blacklight. When I say no justice, no peace, I'm not just talking about disturbing the peace from the black man. It's going to be like that all the way around the world, because what the Caucasian or those we call the 10%, and there's some black brothers included in that, but they're not at the top echelon of the circle. They're always on the bottom. See, they pawns and gatekeepers. Because the lighter people and all the systems globally control religion, economics, and everything. When you go to these different countries, you'll see, except maybe over in some African countries, you'll see that the black man is at the bottom. Now, they don't want a brother who can think, because you could turn their money. See, money can be used as they can weaponize money. It can be used as a weapon. And Nipsey and Elijah and some more brothers turned it around and used it against them. And what they don't want is that it happen. So the spook was set by the door. We're going to show you how he uses different strategies. Now you see here this real light-skinned looking brother. He could pass for white. That's like Master Farad, how he got snuck over here and was able to teach the black man the knowledge of self. This is how Freeman uses them.
I have another job for you, Willie.
What's that?
We need money. So I have a bank job case. The only thing, I can't have the job connected with the Cobras.
How are you gonna do that?
We use Red Beans, Benny Rooster, Paul Monte, JT, Johnny, and Tom. And you lead the team.
All the yellow niggas, right? Look, man, I am tired of that. I am not passing. I am black. Do you hear me, man? Do you understand? I am black. I'm a nigga. You understand me? I was born black, I live black, and I'm gonna die probably because I'm black. Because some cracker that knows I'm black better than you, nigga, is probably gonna put a bullet in the back of my head. Stick up. Get your hands up. Move. Get on the wall. Move. Get on the wall. Get up. Now. Move. Get your hands up. Hands up.
Chicago police are seeking 6 heavily armed men after a daring daylight robbery today of a southwest Chicago bank. Bank authorities estimate the theft to be in excess of $300,000. The men have been described by eyewitnesses as 6 Caucasian males between the age of 20 to 30. Police warn that these men are armed and dangerous.
Now, by no means I'm advocating that you go and rob something. That's out. It's not going to work nowadays because they are prepared for any type of advancement towards them in any type of capacity. But we're just showing you how strategy works. And that the scenario is no justice, no peace. But that goes around the world. That just don't, they rigging every kind of system it is. Just like now they're getting ready to go, trying to go to war with Iraq. People, they know how y'all roll now, Mr. Uncle Sam.
Training group ready?
Had their final exams last week.
Transportation set?
They make 2 moves before they reach their final destination. Check details along the way. Pick up instructions as they go along.
Logistics?
There'll be $500 in new identification papers waiting for them when they reach the other end. After that, they live off the street.
And when they get there?
Locate and identify a gang like the Cobras. Set up training, a chain of command, organization, and a very tight discipline.
And?
No junk.
Good. I want the men assigned to Boston, New York, Philadelphia, Detroit, New Orleans, and Los Angeles to move out within 10 days.
Man, they got some bad brothers in New Orleans.
We got that right. Reports after that. Now, if they get busted in a street hassle, they recruit in prison and we replace them. Any questions?
Martial law and the Reagan administration are 2 things that are not strangers to one another. One of the things that we focused on in considerable measure in Radio Free America number 23 was the apparent deliberate use of terrorism when Ronald Reagan was governor of California in order to do just this sort of thing, to drive popular political sentiment to the right and to create a social and political environment conducive to the institution of police state tactics. Many of the terrorist incidents which plagued California under the Reagan administration, notably the Symbionese Liberation Army, appear to have in fact been put together by the national security establishment and the police in order to effect a right-wing takeover, if you will. Among the plans that were worked on by members of the Reagan gubernatorial administration, who later moved up into the Reagan presidential administration, was the Operation Cable Splicer and Operation Garden Plot, which were the California and national scenarios, respectively, for the institution of martial law in the United States in the event of widespread domestic disturbance. The same being affidavit. At the end of March of 1984, I communicated to sources number 4, 5, and 6, and 7, the information communicated to me earlier in March by Protestant minister source number 1, and I asked them to ascertain for me the source of this accusation that the Catholic Church participants in the sanctuary movement were somehow involved in smuggling into the United States known communist terrorists, unquote, who planned to form themselves once inside the United States into military cadres to undertake the launching of military assaults against U.S. military installations, domestic communication centers, and domestic water resource systems, in the event that President Reagan deemed it necessary to initiate direct military action by U.S. forces in Central America, either in El Salvador or in Nicaragua. During the second week of April of 1984, I was informed by source number 4 that President Ronald Reagan had, on April 6 of 1984, issued National Security Decision Directive number 52, authorizing Federal Emergency Management Agency Director Louis O. Giuffrida, G-I-U-F-F-R-I-D-A, and his deputy Frank Salcedo, S-A-L-C-E-D-O, to undertake a secret, nationwide readiness exercise codenamed Rex 84. This exercise was to test the readiness, unquote, of the Federal Emergency Management Agency to exercise civilian supervisory authority over Defense Department personnel, the personnel of all 50 state National Guard units, and numerous state-based State Defense Force units, which were to be established at the behest of FEMA by state legislative enactments, In the event that President Reagan chose to declare a, quote, a state of domestic national emergency concurrent with the launching of a direct United States military operation into Central America. This military operation was to be codenamed Operation Night Train. According to source number 4, the mission of the FEMA operation to be tested pursuant to this Rex 84 readiness exercise was twofold. First, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, after deputizing all Department of Defense personnel and State National Guard personnel, ostensibly so as to make such personnel civilians and to thereby avoid violating the congressionally enacted Posse Comitatus Act, would undertake to test its ability to seek out and to take into custody some 400,000 undocumented Central American aliens throughout the United States, and then to intern said Central American aliens in 10 military detention centers to be established during this Rex 84 readiness exercise at 10 U.S. military bases throughout the United States. I would take note there of the fact that such presidentially deemed state of domestic national emergency without the right of habeas corpus until President Reagan declared the state of national emergency to be at an end. Quote, in the event that forces of radical black nationalism joined forces inside the state of California with the anti-Vietnam forces to challenge the established authority of the state, unquote. Project Cable Splicer was part of a larger program codenamed Operation Garden Plot, which was a nationwide war game scenario prepared by then-President Richard M. Nixon and his Attorney General John Mitchell, designed to establish a nationwide state of martial law if Richard Nixon's political enemies required him to declare a state at the Army War College in Carlisle, Pennsylvania, in which he advocated martial law in case of a national uprising by black militants. The paper also advocated the roundup and transfer to, quote, assembly centers or relocation camps, unquote, of at least 21 million American Negroes. This, on these broadcasts, this is not a scenario that is entirely foreign to us. There is an archive program that we have placed available from archives on audio called...
Yeah, there's many comments I want to make about this, what you're watching. I don't have the time in this video, but, you know, start hitting that like button. At least I know that you want to prepare yourself just in case they decide to implement the King Alfred plan. They've been implementing stages of it, and you can see by the death of Nipsey that they're talking about California for the jump off start. I thought it was going to be Chicago, but it's California. So if you want to see the strategy that I've got for this and what we need to do, those of you who are interested, you know, hit that like button, pull your coat, pull your buddy's coat to it, you know, your friend's coat to it, those who are like-minded, and listen to the old man and his plan, Black Light.